End of the world.
Beginning of you could find it in the notes.
I am your Virgo host.
I am your Libra host.
This is not a persona. I am just a 4.
I am 7. Adam Equinox.
Bringing heaven and earth to a cosmic platform.
Okay. Today is Tuesday, April 1st. First day of the new year. How was the week?
How was the week? I've been working almost 7 days straight, so I kind of got this monkey wrench in my back, ain't gonna lie. But it feels good to just have one day off, especially a day like this, a productive day. I ain't got no complaints for real. As we get a fresh start and spring, it's talking to us, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. It definitely ain't been definitely wasn't a breezed March, I can say. A lot of ups and downs.
Some people say that this month was long. You think March was long?
I think March was, I would give it a long month. Way longer than February felt.
It's longer than January and February.
Yeah, it definitely is. Going into that new part of the year, a new time of the year, it extended itself. I think that's because a lot of people go through a lot of different kind of adversity throughout the month of March, which is be very subjective when you get into it, but definitely a lot of adversity in March. What does April look like though for us, or moving forward? I would say
perseverance. I think there's a difference between consistency and perseverance.
Why you say that?
Because you can be consistent and it's because you're constantly doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I think there's a different level of focus and intentionality when you're persevering with what you're trying to actually accomplish. Not just, it's like you can work out every day or you can work out very intentionally every day. Those two contrasts.
Yeah, it probably is. Some people are definitely on autopilot when it comes to how they view their daily routines. It isn't. I would agree on the person. I would agree on the difference between perseverance, because people kind of can choose their difficult level sometimes, to where consistency can be pretty much by default.
I'm being consistent. I'm drinking water every day, but if you're only drinking one bottle, or like knowing how much you're supposed to be drinking, there's a difference.
Definitely, very much is. Perseverance is definitely what you do when you meet adversity. That's something that like I can say like. As far as and what I've been like kind of invoking on myself is to meet adversity. Like I was like, I didn't say growing up, pretty much growing up or pretty much coming into my sense of self. I always measured adversity from something that was not necessarily something that was externally perceived to be, or how people required or how people thought about you if you didn't meet adversity or if you didn't finish this amount of reps on a workout. But I measured it from a standpoint of how well am I able to, for one, make this look easy, and for two, to be able to lead and show to like I am only human as you, but I still persevere. Where like
and with perseverance, you still have to reflect on those actions that you're taking, because it takes slight, or you could say minute, tweaking or tuning.
It definitely does. Can't just be a perseverance, because then you just become
you gotta constantly readjust, because this being consistent, you're doing the same exact thing. That's not the progression that you could be looking for sometimes.
I like that 3. If consistency isn't, if you can be consistent without intentionality, you can persevere without intentionality. So I think intentionality can make those two a lot better than what they are alone, I would say. Because, perseverance, like if you know, I'm in the gym every day, let's keep referring to that topic, or I'm in the gym every day. I got this amount of reps. All I did was that amount of reps. But my attention, I didn't have no attention on that amount of reps. So I didn't have attention to do 5 more. I had intention to do 10 more. So it can definitely add how strong are you, how strong-willed are you into your craft and how you perceive that to be. Because perseverance is once you hit the 5 more or 10 more. But you intended on doing that. That's the important part about it. Honestly, that's definitely what I could say March was. To intend on doing something. And to, after you completed doing that, you persevered and did more. And because like I said, you can line your day up. I'm going to do this. I wake up. I do my morning routine. I go to work. after you work, you're 9 times out of exhausted. You're exhausted because, I mean, you done been out here in the world. You done did all these different things. Use a lot of nervous energy or nervous system energy. Taxes your nervous system. So you get back home and it's like, oh, I still have to actually do things that I still have to actually motivate myself to do the things that I do not want to do outside of my job. As far as anything else, like whatever you want to call it. But you have to persevere in that moment, in that gap of window from getting off work to starting definitely your second day. Like, that is very much important.
I think that's consistency, perseverance, whatever word that you want to use or resonate yourself with. Mm-hmm. That's what makes it difficult for people trying to do that in January with the resolution instead of starting in the new year. Mm. That dead winter depression, and I mean, you can say anxiety. It can be whatever you're going through, but it's a lot of emotional thoughts. The moon is a lot more powerful.
We just packed on some definitely crazy. We had this thing. We talked about it months ago for sure, but we talked about like the seasonal depressions and how people fluctuate in their mental wellness, their physical wellness, and their spiritual wellness, and how seasonal, or I can say how trendy seasonal depressions or how trendy seasonal events are literally controlling the way people feel throughout the day to either get them to, I would say, either spend money or kind of do things that they wouldn't do unlike themselves. And from October to throughout the whole entire winter is, I would say, from October to January. It's a slippery slope for a lot of different people and what they set out at the beginning of that year to do. From that October to January, and then it's like, oh, I have to restart now because, for one, I get another chance to because the year says so, I guess, because I guess the new year is January. But then I get another chance to kind of miss out. I get a chance to retry those last 3 months. And I think in a lot of different ways, yeah, you are correct. But I think the reason why we kind of chase our own tail all the time is because we feel as if we missed out, or we feel as if we didn't stay or we didn't persevere throughout that time period. That last quarter of the month, that last quarter of the year, definitely be like rocky for people. Rocky for myself, I can say, because most of the time coming to that, you focused on holidays, you focused on a lot of different emotions that everybody is kind of spewing into your world, to where, like, if I didn't have holidays, if I didn't have the obligation to get presents or to get certain things, to go to family functions, I would be okay if I didn't get nothing done, or I'd be okay if I was just in my own world. To kind of leave that to be.
Especially if you spend those October to January, October to the end of December, with just focusing on doing stuff for other people and being in other people's faces, you feel as if by January 1st you have nothing left for yourself, and you working so hard with negative resources.
Yeah, water in that empty cup.
A lot of people get a sense of being behind by the time March comes, and it's because of that unnatural state of starting the new year in winter rather than April. And I ain't gonna lie, even me personally, like that's something I've been saying to myself over and over, and I'm just now getting out of the habit. Like, stop telling yourself that. Like, you where you supposed to be and do with what you can.
With what you can.
Like, I'm just now changing that mindset. Like, in the past week, because I've been saying it, like, I'm behind, I'm working, I'm behind, and it's really not a good mind state to keeping myself in.
Nah, bro, definitely be. It definitely don't be. Icebreaker. Nah. Sure.
Icebreaker.
Nah, I was gonna call that the icebreaker, but however, so
I guess
we ease into it.
That's the joke about April Fools, huh?
That is a joke. What was the quote? We gotta read it. Now that we you wanna do the honors?
Yeah.
I never got into April Fools, just to throw it out there. I was always terrible with
Maybe the joke was never April Fools. It was celebrating the new year in the wrong season. If you're feeling behind, you're not. This is your real fresh start. So what's your first step?
Maybe the joke was never April Fools. Maybe it wasn't. This next segment, We can get into it. This next segment definitely, I would say, stem from, we had a conversation probably like, I would say, 4 days from last Friday. We talked about a big on this community guidelines and what does that mean in different periods throughout history and how we get into those and how do we get into that? How do we get back to that? And what generation did we lose that and what generation did we acquire? How's that impacting children? How is that impacting teenagers, adults, young adults? How's that impacting our daily lives through interacting with one another in neighborhoods, in stores, however so you want to kind of put that. But what do you think is like when it comes to community guidelines, or just let's just take them 2 words in general, like what do you think is the potent factors of like not necessarily having to watch over people to make sure they're doing their community guidelines, but necessarily like what do you think need to be in place? What should be in place to where people are naturally, they're choosing to be responsible for community guidelines. They're choosing to kind of, oh, I have a buddy. This is my buddy. I want to be aware of what he's going through, or what she may be going through, and how can we resolve things as a collective conscious type of thing. And
if you want it authentic, expect it to grow slow. It's not, you can't just say, I want you here, and let's all go do this. Because now it looks like you're trying to lead people and force them into something that you want to do. You kind of got to let most of those people come to you. Keep an open door or an unlocked door, I would rather say.
I like that. That's fire. All right.
Because it's like not wide open to where people can just infiltrate, but in a sense of you could always come here for sanction. But it takes that personal responsibility sense. It takes for the people to actually want that for everybody. It's a selfless act to be a part of a community.
Definitely, very much so is. I like that. Don't keep an open door, or a lock one is a lot more sturdy. But that's definitely a guideline, because you don't need to. I like that. If I could elaborate on that more, I definitely would, because that has a lot of different, one specific meaning, but a lot of different meanings when it comes to your door don't need to be open.
I mean, you kind of got to look at it as like our community, like the community that we build and the people that we, like our daily people that we talk to on a daily basis, and the people that we've met and accumulated to where we're consistently meeting up with this group of people. Mm-hmm. And you can't just say, oh, I want all of my friends in it, because it's not for everybody. Like you kind of got to give the open floor and the space to show them something that piques their mind, like find their own lane in what it is that you're doing.
Factual.
It's not saying they'll never come around. You just kind of got to see where that takes.
Definitely.
Because it can be slow growing in the beginning.
Very much slow growing. You pointed out that I definitely believe in that. Definitely. Because in school, being in school, and having friends, we all go to the hoop. We all can go play basketball. But like talking about other things, it's hard to kind of transition that group of friends. It's hard to transition groups of people regardless to different ideals of things.
Complete atmospheres as well.
Yeah, that's not something that's like easily given and taken, especially when you're trying to, when you know the better good. Like that's the thing about being like a star seed, is to know the greater good or existential resolve of how it's gonna help everybody. But that's not your problem. And the problem isn't knowing. The problem is actually making everybody kind of suitable suitable in their own rights to actually move forward together. And that's definitely not no easy term and feat.
I don't think communities can always be super relatable as far as the people that makes their community.
Definitely.
Because when you think of like ancient villages, it's only one witch doctor. It's only one of ones. Like that's what makes it strong, though. That's what makes it powerful, because each person is keen on something specific, has a specific role that they will fulfill. Their calling. Yeah. And that's what becomes important.
Mm-hmm. It's factual. That is definitely facts. Even that Transformers 1, when how they even I'm gonna say gathered their squad, or how they wrote the stories, how they came into their why they even what made them better as a team is like that was important. I never thought that Megatron was gonna be that way though. They wrote that in a crazy twist.
That movie took a turn.
Crazy took a crazy turn. Like, and even then, they had community guidelines. I mean, whether the guidelines was a dictatorship or it was you gonna mine these, was it mountains? But they were pretty sure mining rock or mining for
what's it called? I forget what it's called.
Dang, it's the spark. Yikes! I really forgot that. We gotta look that up ASAP. But I'm gonna look it up because that's definitely some.
I want to say Omnicron, but I really don't remember. It's time to rewatch it.
Man, Energon.
Yeah, dog.
And you was never there because I'm like, I knew it was something like an E or something like that. But when they were mining, they bought their team together. And the thing was, like, we obviously seen that Optimus Primer. What was his name? His name was definitely why I forget this.
That was one of the best movies too of last year.
That was definitely. I would give that top 10. I don't remember seeing too much of Moana for sure. It was up there, but I would definitely give that top 10. Well, his name wasn't Optimus Prime, but his ex was like, however saw you put his name, but
yeah, it wasn't Optimus Prime first.
It wasn't Optimus Prime at all. But to get back to it, yeah, I can say like how I would draw the correlation because also I think the Transformers definitely had they have an ancient history to them. They have a history in general. To draw any type of conclusion between community guidelines and how they were living more so of I'm trying to save my world because we are in a drought and our community guidelines is if we all come in here and mine together, we can all hopefully find Energon to be able to save our Cybertron, pretty much. And I was a big part of it, but they didn't know they was being manipulated. It's not like how do we instill community guidelines, but also from the people who are let's say creating or creating these guidelines, how do we like make sure there is no manipulation? Like where's the rawness, authenticity, as you mentioned, like to grow slow, but like to get so much, I would say to have so much power in one area, but to know that these is principles to not manipulate. These is principles to do well and do right by the people that you are trying to do right by. But corruption is always more so around the corner.
I think it takes, because just saying that it doesn't need, it's not about a leader. I think it will take an unconventional leader, like a person that didn't ask to be the leader. It's a person that has a type of dogma that doesn't want to give up or truly wants better for its species, race, or village or community. Again, like you said, Optimus Prime or another good person is like Naruto, the way that he can grasp people's emotions. Like, look at him. Like, it wasn't about I truly just want to be the leader, which he did because he wants to be Hokage, but in the sense of his actions is what changed people's minds, and I'm willing to follow him, not because he's telling people to follow him. He still had a lot of milestones that he wanted to accomplish himself first. So it takes a unconventional leader. Very
so much unconventional,
and people subconsciously will start to lean towards who that person is. Like the limelight begins to shine on them for sure.
Definitely do. It's always unconventional. I guess this world is pretty much unconventional.
Can't force it.
Much as we want to say. What are the purpose of community guidelines? To jot that, I don't know. So we can.
It's more having like spoken, unspoken rules, something that's in the back of your mind, but not something that you kind of reading off of a wall every day, like instilling, because they're not rules. No one's making you follow them. That's kind of the whole personal governance type of thing.
No, for sure. Spicy.
Interesting.
We definitely are there.
Can also be about, I would say, can also be about finding people with a similar dream rather than a person that's trying to relate. So if we can dream big enough towards this one mission, this one goal that has a greater outcome than trying to, oh yeah, I like that too, because we have different conventional ways and practical ways of accomplishing those things. Mm. So I mean, it takes people to, we just gotta want the same thing in the end. Like if your community is solely based on family relations and the communication in that and the security in that, it's like that's what we're looking forward to, not how we're gonna get along in those senses all the time. Like, cause nobody said it was about happy-go-lucky and getting along all the time.
I don't even think that exists. I don't think that exists in no culture or history.
It's fake.
It is. It is very much fake. Even when they pretend it to social media. Like, how do they give us guidelines? Of course, we have a way to correspond and communicate with each other in a proper manner, proper behavior. But it's almost unrealistic in a way because you put humans on these platforms. You put people on these platforms that log into these social media apps from their daily lives. They use this to escape their daily lives. So you got to kind of expect daily life emotion to exude through certain things. And I understand that, you shouldn't be on the internet speaking things. Don't speak nothing that, if it ain't nice, don't say it. Or if it ain't this and that, say it. Those are true things. But as much as we would like to abide by those things, them are very unrealistic principles. Because some people are kind of, you would say, more, their intrusive thoughts don't always stay intrusive. They're a lot more bound to stay unintrusive. So it just be like, I also, the big thing I'm on is like, guidelines are true. Guidelines are real. We have different styles of guidelines that we like to, that we can refer to from, social media. We can go governmental, modern government. We can go ancient community guidelines. And I think the common factor and like a big part of all of those was simply, as you mentioned already, like never to like, it's the responsibility of a sanction, the responsibility of what's going on around you. Can't be necessarily like pulling what can I refer to? But you can't be out here overlooking or overindulging, as we referred to like how I used to have the boxes, the little community box, to where people place canned goods, books, all different kind of things in that box, and like you wouldn't go in there and just take everything because you necessarily won't need everything. As a person, you don't need everything. To be overly gluttonous in certain situations is very like unhumanly for one, and I would say incommunic. Like,
I would say one thing about like just being in Ohio and our city and growing up is like it's rapidly growing. We literally have people from everywhere in this one state. Everyone from all around the world comes here, and that's not an understatement. And it's like it's so much growth, but no collaboration. No one wants to work together. So it's like it's pure territorial and shut off. Everyone gets a cold shoulder. And that makes it crowded here. It makes it feel like there's no space in this city. No space. Because it's definitely big enough for all of us because it's still growing. So there's obviously space somewhere. But no one wants to, again, unlock the door. No one even wants to open the window.
And say get off my property if I don't want to do business with you. No, that's definitely Mr. Neighbor Cracker exists for a reason. But that's Columbus' gift and a curse. I mean, I would say they're all small. There are bigger Columbuses in different places, but that is definitely Columbus's gift and a curse. I think people will come out of that though. As I feel as if people will come out of because also I feel like everybody's being so territorial because they haven't necessarily grown into who they want to be, but haven't grown into their own kind of life's work and what's important to them. Like, and I was thinking about this. This is great that we even bring this up. I was going back like I miss the era where girls rock ponytails, Barbies, that kind of, ballies, that kind of style. And you can go outside and you see you have neighborhood friends, but you also might run into a neighborhood girlfriend. And like you have a neighborhood girlfriend or just a girl that you y'all two knew each other, like each other, but y'all never acted on anything. It was more so a genuine respect of y'all both like to come outside, y'all both like to do things outside. Y'all just boy and girl, so y'all gonna have natural feelings or however y'all come across them. So like, and I was like, or when kids used to be at the park, how we used to be at the basketball court, park, bikes, walking, talking, getting into things, being who we were. I mean, being young, I would say pretty much, but social media comes around and now everybody started to go outside just to take pictures, just to kind of post and just to post to them same people that you used to be outside with or you used to be outside with. And it just be so very much, it can be cluttered in a way because now everybody's focused on y'all missing the concept of coming outside. Y'all doing things that y'all on y'all outside inside y'all phones. And it's blocking, like it blocks the natural waves of like we can't even go together as friends no more. I know you more on social media than I do in person.
It makes it hard to hang out with people. Yeah. Because their motives are no longer the same of genuinely just wanting to be here in this space.
Genuinely just want to be here. And you can't build no more. It's like, all right, now that you on social media, you're doing your thing. I mean, and it's like we used to be on social media in the neighborhoods. Used to be on social media to post for people who live in our neighborhood. Like, and I'm like, don't you talk to these people every day?
Outside.
Just come outside. Like, I could rather, and I'm like, that's a better picture.
That's crazy. We really grew up knocking on each other's door all day, back and forth. Are you coming outside?
What happened to that? Are you coming outside? And then the nose will crush you. But like, where's that childlike kind of endearment to each other? Like, you say, you can't tell me children are adults. Do the same thing adults do. Like, I'm gonna go out there and check on see if he coming outside today. Well, it don't matter what time of day it is. That's the crazy part about it. Is that I can go out there and check and see like, what's going on? Are you coming outside? Even if I ain't got nothing to tell you, that's great about the kids. They don't got nothing to tell you. Kids don't have nothing to tell you, but they'll come outside and just ask you like, are you coming outside today?
Just come outside.
Come outside.
You never know. And it always presents itself. Like, it's days that we didn't know what we was going to do.
At all.
Still didn't go outside till it was late. Go inside till it was late.
As creative as it may seem, as crazy as it may sound. And I'm not going to here to say that social media ruined that for kids, but I would say, as I mentioned, it's a gift and a curse. Maybe social media wasn't necessarily, I would say made for kids, or I wouldn't say made for kids because nothing is made for pretty much anybody. It's made for people. So I would just give it to that social media could have been, should have been, could have been, would have been. Censor. As I mentioned, they have monetary systems to where make sure you're not the guidelines part about it. But we took it and wrapped it into something that I think different demographics used it to their best ability. And if it was, you can call it a negative or a heavy traumatic demographic or a neighborhood or background, we used it to something that made light. And our light could have been either flexing, fronting, or proposing that kind of aspect on it. That like, I might not have this or that, but I do look good. I do feel good when I post, when I do these, when I get dressed. So I think each culture's used it differently in one city to say like, how does social media truly affect kids? And what was important about social media when it affected them? That's just my premise.
Yeah, people choose to go or not go to other places because of they're looking for a certain type of vibe or energy, or just who's gonna be there. And it's like, you could say people are looking to find their peace or find their peace. I don't think peace is meant to be possessed. I don't think peace is meant to be found. It's supposed to be made. It's supposed to come from within. It's supposed to be internal, and you're supposed to share it. It's not go here and they can give you your peace. That's not how you get. You have to allow yourself to even be peaceful. You have to have the acceptance to have peace with yourself to be able to, for it to rub off on other people. You don't have to just force it on people. It's not something that you, here, try this. Like, just, it's an example thing, leading by example. And another thing, I don't think everything feels different. Nothing is gonna feel the same this year. Even the old habits we used to have, the old things we used to do, nothing's gonna feel the same.
I had to start like people are experiencing their last 9 years in 1 year. Or people are really like, they're having either, you can call it dreams, visions, daydreams, emotions of who they were 9 years ago, all up and through today.
Nostalgia has been a big thing lately.
It has. Even with the movie Inside Out 2, and how they added the extra emotions, the other emotions, and how nostalgia was like the oldest one, but they didn't show too much about nostalgia. But it was very much climactic to kind of see that there is a 10th emotion. I'm pretty sure that was the 10th emotion, and to show like, yeah, you get all these emotions and all this one, but emotions does age. They don't go away, but they do age, and they do have a memorabilia state to them, to where if you are aware enough, you can tap into what happened to you or how you felt 9 years ago.
And looking back on certain memories can definitely push certain buttons.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Literally,
definitely will.
and yeah.
People probably get divorces over that kind of stuff. Like divorces or just breakups in general, like, and through those, that's what you call temper tantrums.
Easily remembering back that this person did this to you. Like, it's all triggering.
Very much so triggering. And that goes back to what you mentioned as peace. Like, what do you deem as peace to be able to encompass how you felt or how you've been feeling? Could you imagine getting 9 years worth of emotion in 1 second or 1 moment? Like,
yeah,
you almost will stop and think and just sit there and just like something is truly taking over your body almost. As if your mind is sitting there like probably like leaving your body almost. Like,
yeah, that's where a lot of this year doing the contrasting of, you can be overstimulated, but some people are naturally hypersensitive. So like that takes a huge toll when you kind of got a lot of things to clear your head about, because that's also what this season is about. And to feel like you feeling everything around you feeling the people that's around you feeling like you need to get so much done, and it's like you just very empathetic and very aware of so much of your environment that it can feel overstimulating, but that's your nature. Some people's nature. It's not equipped to everyone, but it's a huge factor in the next step to clarity.
Definitely,
it has to show itself.
We definitely talked about that when you can say somebody's pain or when you can see it. You may not feel it, or you may feel it, but you may not be able to see it. But some people do have both. And that's the hypersensitivity when it comes to how they may feel and how they may indulge and interact with the rest of the world. And that's probably why some people choose solitude, choose to be away from everybody else. Like, it's one of those. It was one of those. Let me see. I think going through our notes and how we do this is like, it can be very mesmerizing, but that's like it's the elemental structure in it.
No, I find myself like in awe a lot of times. Like, these are the things that we're documenting, because that's one big part of our community and our community guidelines is to document things. Make sure you write them down. Make sure you record them. It's like, people that want to be around that is a part of our community. That's a simple basis. It's not something that we're forcing you to do, or it's not a rule. But if you resonate with something like that, then this is a place to be.
Definitely is. I be feeling like, I mean, and the act of like being somewhere, catch a thought, gotta write it down. Like, it becoming that's an addiction, but it almost because like it's self-refined therapy in your own natural way. It doesn't have to be the journalism that everybody hype beast about, like, oh, I'm a journal.
Yeah, you don't have to make it a thing. You don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah. Some people really don't. You will find that most people definitely won't talk about it. And I was going through our old notes and stuff like that, and like, these were just simple interests, just simple possibilities, what ifs. Like, to enter into that, like, you can say the quantum media of what if these things actually happen? what would you rather choose if you had the power to choose? I think it's the biggest thing about the notes is that it gives you the power to choose and be who you choose to be. It doesn't. There's no walls, gates, like in this aspect of entering and putting on the hat, kind of like Lovecraft Country. When he was he would have these, I won't call them dreams, but they started off the show with him having a dream about some remnants of his past and what he'd been through in his past. And he had baseball player, I hate that I do not remember his name, Jackie Robinson. He had Jackie Robinson in there fighting pretty much octopus kind of alien more so in there. They had guns, blasters, rays going all over the scene. And then they had this Chinese woman in there that they later showed the background of and history of throughout the rest of the show. But that's what the notes kind of is in a way, to like paint your universe. And it's crazy as you may say it, but like, who are you in this universe, in this dimension? Like, and that's what our notes is. Like, so when we hopping in these topics and we hopping from topic to topic, is because we are like hopping in different dimensions almost. Like, it's not. Definitely be hopping in like different aspects of the what if. Do we even have like a spicy sense?
I think the spice ain't presented itself yet. We just getting started.
It's just getting started. We ain't been here in a minute, bro. A lot in one day, but daily progressions is definitely important. Let me see. We gotta get back in there.
Still wanna implement something that we were heavily pushing in the beginning, like year of 8 was our 5. It used to be 3 A's.
It did.
That's how I know we mature. It used to be 3 A's. Now we got 5 A's.
Mm-hmm. You got them off top.
I got to.
All right, bet.
Accumulation to application to amplification to accuracy to automation. Those are the 5 A's.
The 5 A's.
And I think we haven't really been on camera to push accuracy and automation. I mean, they pretty explanatory. Accuracy, kind of taking everything that you've learned, accumulated, applied, and to direct it and focus it in the lane that you're trying to use it with. And then automation, to make it automatic, to get the ball rolling. There's 5 A's.
To get the ball rolling. Why did we are we stopping at 5 when it comes to the A's?
We thought we was done at 3.
Yeah.
We thought amplification was like the pinnacle, and we realized that it's way more to it. So my ears is open.
Yeah, my ears. I'm still listening to myself because I can't just be any A at the same time. It gotta matter, and it gotta matter. It has to matter.
I mean, your daily decisions, as far as what you're working towards, should fall in those lines.
Mm-hmm. What did you think about Marvin Sapp? Him or his whole emotion?
I don't know why. I think that fear. Because somebody should have retaliated in there. Somebody should have crashed out and truly kind of let him have it. Like, that is not okay to demand out of people. And honestly, I don't think it even had to be anyone out the crowd. It wasn't about the $20. It was about the $100 telling people it costs to sit up here. I think everybody behind him should have jumped him or something. Like, I truly do.
Somebody right in the pew, though.
He told them, I need everybody in the crowd, these 1,000 people sitting here, and these 1,000 people on, I need 20. But everybody behind me, $100 out your pocket because it costs to sit up here. Like,
there had to be at least 12 to 15 people up there.
They let him continue speaking.
They did. They definitely did. I don't know. Definitely fear. I would definitely say fear. I don't know what made. I wonder how the beginning of that service went. I wanted to see the beginning and after that.
Because he knew he was going to demand that.
Who started to record? Did they post that like on their website? Because churches of that size, they be having like broadcasting.
I guess he was live streaming. He was broadcasting.
Yeah.
So there was no.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. Like, and to say I need $40,000 And then to demand it from virtual people, that was like, you took a step further to say, like, I have power. You guys are here because of me. And to demand it from virtual people, it just showed, I don't know. But the church system always had skepticisms. Not necessarily about every church, because as you know, we grew up in the church. We've been through the church. But certain churches, the capacity, I would say, the expansion of them, like how do they expand? Like you be having like these large churches sitting on an acre or two of land, and it almost be like, I mean, I'm gonna say churches would be like necessarily active in certain communities, but where do y'all get, let's say, the funding? A lot of government funding, but
I mean, yeah, but that's the proof right there on how much a community can bring something together. Mm-hmm. That shows, because it's a lot of churches that always have something on their agenda, or like the next outing or whatever type of events that they got going on, and it's like the people that are giving their tithes and offering are the ones funding 90% of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. $40,000. I don't know how long service is. But to get that much money, what are your goals to have that much money in that little of time?
On one Sunday.
Like, are you, and I'm just like, half of the people in there are going to your church simply off of your name. They're not going to your church because I would say I don't know how the tier system is, but to put yourself in that position as a attendee of a church, it's like, dang, it sounds like it's no longer about what at least I'm here for, or at least I would bring my children here for, because I'm about to ask my children for $20 to get you $20. So it was like, I don't know. I'm like, and you put in perspective, I mean, whether you were in a scarcity mindset or you going through what you're going through outside of you being, I have to look into that, the pastor or ever so, but like, where's the respect simply that, like, even if,
no way he got away with something like that.
No way. To ask the ushers to close the doors.
This is kidnapping. This is completely holding people hostage.
This is definitely a mutiny kind of thing. This is pure church mutiny going on, and it's being video recorded. So I'm like, and that, I mean, that can be devastating, because you know what people was already thinking, like, close the doors and stuff like that. How did you start your day? I have to know that part. How did you start your day? Because, like, to request that much money,
he worked himself up for that. He knew he was going to demand that.
He knew he was going to demand $40,000. What is the church at? What, bankrupt?
He knew the numbers.
He knew 1,000 people here. 1,000 people here. 1,000 people here. I need $20.
That's the person that got debts to pay.
He got some debts. I don't know, bro, because that was just like, what happens? Where do we go from here? Because, God, somebody should have said something, though. And I want to know, how did them people leave that church that day? Because somebody should have.
That church should be empty the next Sunday.
$40K. That's what I'm saying. And that's a big part of the community guidelines part. To like, are you like, to have this much resource, these much people? We see the power of how much it takes from much people. I mean, we see the power of how many people in the collaborative side of things, of how you get as many people here, you guys can make something happen, of course. But to have that much money, and for people to not visit, I mean, not visible, you don't need the visibility to see it, but they need to know. They need to feel some type of thing. They need to feel a connection. And that would have severed any kind of connection of you being a person I listen to speak every Sunday. To have that aspect, like, you kind of destroyed that sense for me. You just destroyed innocence in a way. Like, I'm glad you gave me the reality of things, or how things truly is, but maybe you're not the person I want to hear that kind of information from. Maybe you're just about the person in general. So I gotta see. I think that's something that they should demand from a person. That's what pastors in general need to have, a more of a demanded role when they accumulate these much resources, because you are not just a guy no more. Like, you're almost, I mean, I would call you a president pretty much. Like, a lot of people put their lives in the fate of, I come to church, I listen to this, I do these kind of things, and this kind of helped me on my path. This is where I take from and give to mine.
Yeah, start of the week.
Yeah.
People come here for cleansing.
Cleansing. Marvin Sapp, we got a message. I would like to talk to you, but if I don't ever get to talk to you, I mean, let bygones be bygones. I have no problem with you, of course.
That's crazy.
Man. It's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot that goes into that. Just throw it out there. I would never sit on a pew. I'm just never saw myself as that kind of person. Yeah, but I will always be in support of anything that's definitely of that light for sure. But I just probably couldn't. I probably couldn't go that far to, yeah. All of the money probably going to like sweat rags. I get it though, or something, because they be sweating. Bro, they be sweating, bro.
He was sweating crazy. Like I was all on his back.
He was sweating. Everything. He was sweating, bro. He was sweating, bro. I see every pastor definitely be having sweat rags. They be they be sweating. Man. Oh God. I definitely been jotting down since like January, bro. Like the 5 love languages. I want you to kind of.
That's something we visited last year, and that's something we're gonna continue to visit, to revisit, because it takes constant awareness. Again, with your community. But I asked the question: is words of affirmation more for girls? It's because it's something that's so far off of my block, or just at the bottom of my list of seeing how important it is, but I'm just now seeing how important words of affirmation are, and to actually use them for myself and recognizing it for other people. Like you can't just go quiet, and because a lot of your acts, especially if it's coming from a person that's love language is more so on the acts of service side, it's all in action. So it's like even to the most minute details, whether that gets noticed or not. So sometimes it takes a level of speaking up, but I realize how important that is for women, for you to tell them you miss them, or tell them like, or when you tell them you're going to do certain things, that they're going to hold you to it to the fullest extent. Because if you don't, now you don't love them. So it was just a simple question. It was a quick question, but it definitely kind of popped in my mind, like how or why is that so important for girls specifically? Definitely, because it's not just for girls. Honestly, it's a very real love language. It's actually an extremely powerful love language, because words are powerful, and it's communication. Communication is something that I'm heavily bent on.
Words of affirmation. Queen Naja got a song called Words of Affirmation, I think. And it was crazy that she said it. And I think, as I mentioned last night, like the words of affirmation part, I said, like, as far as me being a Libra, is we use our words to communicate. We use our words to tell somebody how affectionate we can be, and we can also use our words to do the opposite. So I think that's very important for words of affirmation. Is it a girl thing though? It's hard. You can't even put gender on somebody, because love isn't about that. Love isn't about that. Yeah. You almost be hurting yourself of the concept, or actually experience anything.
Trying to even force it into that box, because that's like saying any other one is like, it's gender wars. It's not something we stand on. But it was just a simple question, and it's something that I actually want to use a lot more here in the future, and just in the present.
What would be like your 1, 2, 3 out of the 5 love languages?
I'm gonna still stick with my list, and that's going to say acts of service is hands down number 1 for me. 2 and 3 are on like the same level of like physical touch, quality time. 2 and 3 go hand in hand. Then the rest follow behind. Like I don't even care to like place them. Like receiving gifts is probably, I mean, it can go last. It really can go last, because again, I do plan to implement words of affirmation, and I'm seeing how powerful it is. I don't think receiving gifts is like it's not my language. Again, I'm not gonna downplay it in no world, but it's not my language.
Yeah, I would never put it at the top. I would never put that at the top.
But yeah, never. But one of my biggest things that's not, it's not heavily emphasized or named or titled, but it's like, I consider it quality time, but quality time is the undivided focus when you with someone. What about the quality time where we just in each other's presence and we not talking? We can be doing two completely different things, but just having the presence is enough. Mm-hmm. I believe that's a love language because that's important too.
It definitely is. Most people can't be around each other and just be in this
love language of presence.
Yeah,
I'm naming it that.
That's fire. Love language of presence. Because quality time, you can't give quality. It take a lot of focus. Time. Yeah. How do you measure quality time with somebody? Which I get though, like, yeah, y'all did this and that, but like presence that's fire. That is definitely fire. That's fire. That is definitely fire.
What's your 1, 2, 3?
I would definitely go. Yeah, I would definitely start with my most minimum viable product. Of definitely words of affirmation. I like people. I like to speak unto people just as much as I like to receive good words to me. Like I mentioned earlier, how I used to be like growing up in high school is like, or football period in sports like oh shit, you did a good job on that. Or you did your shit on that. Like,
that was the height, and I understand that. It's crazy because I had to really sit and think. Like as quick as I thought something like that, I'm like, you got to understand where words of affirmation is applied.
Facts. And that's why there is no gender. Because it could be a bunch of dudes typing saying, good job, bro. Good job. Good job, bro. Like, you know, it could be like, that's what I'm saying. There is no, but I would definitely go words of affirmation. After words of affirmation, it would be acts of service. My acts of service, like, and it's, I mean, people will say, women probably will say, like, no, that can't be the same thing. But my acts of service leads right into my words of affirmation because it takes an act to sit here and talk and speak unto you properly and wealthily. You
have to prepare yourself for uncomfortable conversations, all types of stuff.
Man.
That's facts.
That is definitely facts. And after that, I would definitely go physical touch. Physical touch. As much as I'm the most awkward person to be physically around, like, I ain't gonna be awkward, but it can just be like, where do we, because I have that's where my analytical brain turns in that. Because, like, how do I become, like, physically mixed with somebody, or like it just be like I can't lay with you. Because if I can't lay with you, that's a problem. Like,
nah, that's real.
It just become hard. Like your leg, my arm. My arm going to sleep, and so I'm like physical touches.
I think that's like the biggest thing that I'll probably never let go of, like throughout life. Like it's buzzing.
It's buzzing. Like
you don't care.
Don't care. They be like dead weight.
And then my whole thing is don't move. She's comfortable.
Another
and
active
I'm stuck
service.
Like that, awake for at least 30 minutes before somebody get too hot.
Yeah, when somebody get too hot, it's a whole different. Yes,
but I'm supposed to endure more when it comes to but that's also those are my levels of acts of service though.
Exactly, sitting there
like those minute. I'm gonna just stay here just because you comfortable, even though it's low key killing me inside.
Killing me.
I'm willing to be hot longer, or uncomfortable longer. Those are levels of, and also spontaneity. Mm-hmm. Like those type of acts of service. Like it doesn't have to always be doing something because that love language along every love language, but it's easily, consciously and unconsciously taken advantage of. And so kind of got to watch who you're around when it comes to all of those love languages. That's awareness. This was said to me, but awareness is the first step to protecting yourself.
It definitely is. Spontaneity is always taken advantage of. When people say spontaneous and like I'm spontaneous,
it forces you to be spontaneous. Like that's literally not spontaneous.
That's not spontaneous. I'm coming through the front door and then come through the front door. Like that's not spontaneous. I get you on that because definitely more people don't know how to deal with spontaneous though. Spontaneity. I can say me being a person.
I don't care for surprises though.
For real?
I don't.
Okay.
I truly don't though. Like as much as I like to be the surprise for people and show surprises, I don't really care for it. Like, don't surprise me for real.
Don't surprise me.
Because not that I'd be underwhelmed, but I don't always know how to react. Like I'm very grateful, very appreciative, but It's not naturally gonna show in my face unless you bring me something that I've been talking about every single day. Like you bringing me something I didn't know I even wanted. How am I supposed to be surprised about this? I'm surprised, all right. So that's really my thing.
I was about to say to surprise somebody, definitely. I'm terrible at surprises because I hold on to when you surprise me. I don't feel satisfied about what you surprised me about until I surprise you again. Like I'm trying to beat you at your surprise now because like I'm terrible at reacting and showing you I cared about your surprise.
Exactly.
So I just be like,
I'm pretty active though. I think I'm getting good at it though.
Yeah, I get it.
But again, I'm still grateful and appreciative. Like even constantly, like I don't even like getting rid of gifts. Like even if I don't use them, I don't want to get rid of them. I just safekeeping.
Can you be a hoarder for that?
Yes, and it bothers me because again, I'm too appreciative of the gift, but like some things have to get out of my way. Like it's naturally.
That's facts. One thing definitely gotta get out, y'all. You be holding on to energy. I know you mentioned that before. Like I gotta get the energy out. Like certain energies hold. Because you remember.
I still got a gift from like my first girlfriend, bro. Like 5th grade, bro.
What are you doing with that?
I just still got it.
What is it?
No, like, it's like a piece of keychain. It goes to a keychain, like something little, bro. It was kids, but naturally, I kept it. Like I was able to keep it. Like I'm able to keep up with it. That's the part that's like I still got it. I'm not just looking at it. It's not no shrine or nothing.
Yeah,
but I just still got it. Like and that's also something that I can brag about because I can keep up with stuff, honestly, for myself. Be a person that loses a lot of stuff.
You can say you definitely remember that person based on what you kept from them. You definitely can say that. Certain relationships, you don't keep anything. Certain relationships.
It's good to let things go. We was kids. It was very innocent. So it was like, man, it's innocent.
That's fire, though. Because I'll be the person... I would keep it as a shorty. I kept this for this long, but it wouldn't be. I'd be from a genuine spot for sure because I always remember like, why am I keeping this around? But I falter to the point of like, I'm gonna keep this around because I run into you again.
But again, I also don't receive a lot of gifts. Like I'm not just. I don't even like receiving a lot of gifts. So
you can call me a brick wall when it comes to receiving gifts because I'd be like this and that. I mean, I don't know. And that could probably be a Cancer relationship.
You want to give me something? Ask me what I want.
And get it. That is facts. Spontaneity don't work. Even when it comes to dates. Like, that's why I probably would never be of course I go big or go home. But to plan out like on a first date and like to plan out like boom, 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 we gonna go here and there, and you ain't never been with this girl outside of what you about to go take her to do.
What if it's certain stuff that she just don't do?
Just don't do. Like, and that's why I'm like, hard first dates should not be hard. Your third and fifth date, your 10th date should be hard.
I think those are where the spontaneity of I already got this planned out. It's this, just be here. You don't have to do nothing. I think those are for later dates. In the beginning, I think it should be, what are you comfortable with? It should be as comfortable as possible. Then I think your second and third date should be something more wild or extreme or
what's wild and
heart rate rising. Something that like something active that gets your blood pumping, that adrenaline going, or just it's because you get to see that other side of people.
Should you go work out for should working out be a date? Like if you wasn't should I take her to a gym or take her to an outside course?
I think that's a cool date.
A school date?
That's a cool date. Like to work out or like just to go to a basketball gym or again tennis, volleyball. Tennis. Like I think those are fire dates, honestly.
Facts.
People probably don't look at those as dates, but like I look at you sideways, you know what I'm saying? Anything can be a date.
Anything can be a date. That is facts. People take away from that. That's what I'm saying.
I said we couldn't go get ice cream after.
Yeah.
So I'm always down for movies, ice cream. Like, don't say it's not a date.
Don't say it's not a date. I swear.
And then people, a lot of women, I don't want to say all, but like y'all think the date only for y'all.
Yikes.
It's not. Like, don't take away from what the man sees as a date either. It's for two people. So, not saying you have to bring anything, but bring yourself truly. Don't withdraw because you're trying to keep it. That's the whole point of dating, to see.
To see. To really see. I was recently told you need to get out there more. You need to get out there more, pretty much, to say that at least. Like, and I was feeling like, for one, I mean, I'm not gonna necessarily say I'm not the person to get out there more, but like, I'm just kind of like, what does that mean when people like? What does that mean when like, especially when you hear it from like, I would say a woman or a brother or so, however you hear their advice, or if it's advice anyway, it can just be like, I mean, okay, I can get out there more, but like my intentions, like some things just don't help you at all. Sometimes.
Everybody is not ready to get out there in the ways you trying to get out there. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. Like, we can get out there, but are you trying to do that my way?
What's getting out there?
Because that's not getting out there, because you stand in your comfort zones or you stand in your space of what you used to. That's literally not getting out there.
It's not.
You got to be willing to take that leap of faith of what I look at as. Now, if I put you on a karaoke stage,
man,
hey, that's getting out there.
That's getting out there.
That's really, I ain't gonna lie. Applause to people that do that.
Man, everybody feels it. I would try it sober for sure, but after sober, I would definitely try like the karaoke experience. Well, how they depict it in movies, pretty much.
I think that's something that should be on a lot of people's bucket list. I think it's something to try.
Definitely, because you don't have to like know how to sing the singer in front of people.
Get on the stage.
Get on the stage. That is fact.
Play one of them songs that you love, that you know.
Absolutely.
Unapologetically, do that for yourself.
Help yourself out, for sure. For sure. Nice. Where we at right now? I was writing down some of our old topics from our old videos, like 2022, yeah. And how we was going in there, but we was all cerebral, like curiosity, like really like that, like, bro. Couldn't tell us, bro.
Only questions. Questions for questions.
Man.
Life isn't always about getting an answer. Just what's the next question to ask?
Off the flip topic, could you imagine one of your children killing another one of your children?
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like, are these all same mother, same father?
Same mother, same father.
What compels such a thing to happen like that? I don't even know I wouldn't even know how to feel.
I wouldn't either. I would
never come to terms with that.
No. I would never come to terms with that.
It's like, who are you? Like, yeah, we birthed you as your parents, but you are not from here.
It draws so many different.
Or like, what are you watching? Like, who have you been around? It's too many questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the beef?
I got questions, and it's like, how did you kill your sibling? What did they do? It's so cynical. It's so cynical to take it there. I'm like,
brain scans.
I need a brain scan. I need to know biologically, are we still? Because what's stopping you from going further? Like in the Harder They Fall, and Rufus Buck came back to kill his father for a series of things, but he could not kill his brother. And to flip that, or I'm not gonna say flip that, but to be able to kill your sibling,
that brings me on the ground just to have the correlation of that movie.
It's very cynical. It's very like, because I couldn't.
In that sense, that family alone had just a lot of problems.
A lot of problems. A lot of problems. Where's your mother? Where's the mother? What happened to her? That's what y'all needed. Even if I would say like to give it anything, that's what y'all needed.
He did kill both of them in the beginning though.
That was the cause I thought his dad had moved on or something and found
had a different mom.
That different woman or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Cause she looked like she was clueless throughout the whole.
Yeah, because he wouldn't get his own mom.
Yeah. I hope not.
She was definitely duh.
Hey, I hope not. She wouldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah, she looking like what's going on here.
Right, like who is this guy?
What you done stirred up? So yeah,
he shot her first.
He wanted him to see that.
That's crazy.
I mean, separate mothers.
Yeah. Yeah, them separate. I about to say she had to be born by.
They was gonna cross paths eventually. And just being cowboys and that type of me versus you. That's a raunchy time.
Bro.
It's a raunchy time.
Ain't easy. Ain't supplemental.
As far as visually and possibility, this world will have to be in complete chaos or apocalyptic to where drastic decisions are being made. Like, not saying it's accepted or anything like that. Like, yeah, this is when it's okay. But like, scenario wise, that's definitely where I see that. Like, because I know how I am when it comes to survivability, and no matter who you are, how close, as far as like just level-headedness and on the same agenda, like. Anybody can get exiled.
Anybody.
If you risking the survivability. Okay.
I don't know what depths that anybody definitely get exiled. I couldn't even imagine seeing. I forgot where I thought came from that made me ask that question, but it really made me ask it because, like, to have to face something like that, like
somebody's had to deal with that.
Exactly. So how do you want this month to go? Wanna plant a seed type of.
I want this month to be very strict for myself.
You sure?
I need to watch what I'm saying before I say certain stuff like that. Nah, I'm putting myself through the gauntlet. Definitely, something we was talking about earlier was like showing people your change, like making people see your change. Not showing, but making people see it and undeniably seeing it. And just starting with the physical and pushing those limits, a real transformation in that. But just like, and leaps of faith. More intentionally on leaps of faith. Like, you don't always have to know. Like, you can schedule as much as you want, but things don't always go as planned. And accepting that's where I'm at. Taking my leaps of faith. That's how I want this month to go. Make it happen.
Hell yeah. I'm big on that. I'm still down with the strictness though. Imagine you said, I actually be sure because I gotta ask myself if I'm sure.
Nah, exactly. It's real, and I did have to
because it's
watch what you ask for.
Watch what you ask for, bro. Because you can be in it, bro. And I told myself like stopping. And once you stop, you always find a new way, or you find like especially when you just feel like you've been doing something for so long under a consistent point of time, and you stop. And then you start looking for like, so you want to get back to it, but you start looking for different ways to grow and grasp that kind of concept of how you was able to be consistent in the first place. And yeah, that's a big factor in how asking for the strictness, to know that. And I'm saying most times you don't have to ask for it. You are probably really a strict person 9 times out of 10. It is, what are you directing that strictness?
Exactly.
To. And I make sure I don't even have to ask for it. What you think?
Yeah. I'm ecstatic. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. This is go ahead.
This is the new year. It's really nothing extra towards that. Foster allies and hone in on what type of community that you want to have. And that's where it begins. These are the building blocks. This is 901. The true beginning.
We here. 901, April 901, episode 13. You can find it in the notes podcast / platform, if you will. But you can find those platform podcast is here. We back to the month to month. We believe in the month to month progressions. Look out for Platform X. It's coming. If you want to keep up on the daily news, daily events, and you want to know why those things are happening, check out X_platform_. We will be on there also posting different mysteries, investigations, X perspectives, X reports, X files. There's definitely gonna be on the watch. This is a big summer, big year for this. We moving. I'm the Libra host.
I'm a Virgo host. End of the world.
Beginning of You Can Find It in the Notes.